All right. Here's the easy way to solve systems of equations. So first of all, you need to be able to recognize a system, right? What is a system of equations? Right. Two lines, right? Just two lines graphed on the same set of coordinates is a system. Okay, so if I told you, again, you had 2x minus 5y is equal to 9, and then a second equation, y equals 3x minus 7. So what we did last time was we just graphed each of these, found the intersection using the intersection tool on your calculator, which was relatively easy also, right? But it had some moving parts. Okay. What I'm going to show you today is how to solve this very quickly. You just have to follow these steps. So again, remember you can use notes on things, so I would make sure you have notes on this. It's not in your book. Okay. So step one. You need to access your custom menu tabs. The way that you do this is you hit second and then home. Okay, so notice my regular tabs, they say tools, algebra, calc, other, and so on. Once I hit second and home, those tabs change. Okay? Once you enter the custom tabs menu, what you're going to do is select the tab, the solve tab, and notice that's F3 this time. So you're going to press F3, and then you're going to choose number 4 here, which is, this is the system of equations template. And so it's a system of equation solver template. Okay, and so when you select this number or this template, all you then need to do is enter your equations. Okay, you don't have to have it in any specific form, so you don't even have to solve for y or anything. Now, the place where you're going to enter them is right here, where I highlight in black. You have to have specific formatting on this, so it's right after the comma, or right after the parentheses. Okay, so you enter the first equation, 2x minus 5y. Now notice here's where the equals button is. The equals button is right below the x key, is equal to 9. And then I move the cursor all the way right before the comma. So there has to be a space between the words or the letters in the word and. And then type your second equation, y equals 3x minus 7. And then you just hit enter. It's done. Hit enter, and you get your solution. X is 2, y is negative 1. So you just need to know how to interpret that. Okay, remember, your solutions could be several different ways. Okay. If it tells you specifically and individually to enter what x is equal to, enter what y is equal to, you can do that. But usually the solution of a system is a set of coordinates, right? It's the point where those two graphs intersect. So when you write, if you need to interpret this solution, your solution point would be to negative 1. Right? And so you'd have to write that in parentheses if it asks you for the point or whatever the case might. And again, in your custom tabs, choose the system solver template. Move back and type in your equations. 6x plus y is equal to negative 2. Move your cursor to right before the comma. 4x minus 3y is equal to 17. Hit enter, and you get your solution. Your x coordinate is 1/2. Your y coordinate is negative 5. There's your answer, and you are done. Mark. The what? Oh, the 3.2 stuff. Yeah, that's what is going to connect with this. Okay. All right. Yeah. So see how my cursor is thin down here, or right here? And then now it's the big block that just overwrites everything. The way to toggle back and forth between that is this insert and delete button. So if you hit second and then backspace, it toggles back and forth between those two. So it's probably better to be in the thin cursor, or the thin one, rather than the highlighting one. Okay, now the only thing that I want to talk to you guys about in this is the way that this is formatted. So I wrote it down here for a reason. Okay, whatever values go right here in this area, in those curved brackets, okay, those are the values that you're solving for. So what happens if your equation's written in terms of A and B? You have to change something. So here your options are, and probably the easy, well, it all depends on what makes sense to you. But let's say the last example that I want to do is, let's say you have 6A and 3B. Okay, now, if this is the system that you're given, you can do one of two things. You can change the A and B into X and Y on your paper, and then just type them in terms of X and Y. Or you can just plug in and change these letters in here. The advantage to both of them, there's an advantage for each one and a disadvantage. The advantage for changing this into an X and this into a Y, and then just typing it in, is your calculator's already set up to solve for those. What do you think the disadvantage would be? The disadvantage would be when you get your solution, you're likely to think of X and Y and not A and B. So the disadvantage is you do need to come back after you find your solution and cross these back out and put it back in terms of the letters that were originally used. Okay, for most of these, it's not bad. Like, to me, it's probably easiest to do it this way. Okay? If you were to type in just the A's and the B's, so the other option is to use that system solver and then just change these letters to A and B. So you can change that A and B, and then enter your equations exactly as they were. So you get 6A plus 3B equals 3, and then 8A plus 4B equals 4. And so you can still do that. If you're using the calculators on the computer, it winds up being easier than if you're doing it by the calculator, the live calculator, or the actual calculator. And the reason is you can use your keypads to type in the A and the B. Okay, so the advantage to doing it this way is when you hit enter, it gives you your answer and specifically tells you what A is equal to and what B is equal to. Okay? If you use, or if you do use your calculator, the disadvantage is you have to type in A, often using the alpha key for every A and every B, so it just takes a little bit longer. Okay? Now, notice what happens when I came up with my solution. What did you notice on this? See this little symbol, this @ symbol? Okay, if you get an @ symbol on the solver, what that means is you have many solutions. Okay, so again, you might want to write this down as a note. Okay, so this is an equation that has many solutions. Okay, it's the same line over the top of itself. Okay, so when you're looking at this set, anything that comes up with this @ symbol means many solutions or infinite number of solutions. Okay, what if were to change this slightly, and I come up with this relationship. So all I did is I changed this number to a 5. So I had 6a plus 3b equals 3, and I had 8a plus 4b is equal to 5. Okay, so this one is the same line. And what about this one? What do you think it means when it gives you false? No solution. Okay, so if you get false reading, it means that these lines are parallel, so they'll never intersect each other. And so again, this is the only